Did you say anything?
The morning of my sister's graduation, my face betrayed me and decided to swell up, and I started having just this very achy pain back in one of my wisdom teeth. So I went to the dentist, and they ended up having to pull the tooth, and I've never been sedated or had stitches. Wasn't planning to mark those items off on my bucket list on this trip home, but I did.
Just be bopping around doing it, you know, and then like, I don't know. And then it was like over, and I'm like, you're done? I was like, well, y'all are really efficient.
You told him that?
Yeah, I'm glad I told him that and not, you know, the devil's coming.
But I gotta say, it must be a pretty hardcore ultralighter, because I don't know any other backpackers getting wisdom teeth removed out here to be a little bit lighter on trail. Heart. I expected that I would have about a week off trail, but it ended up turning into 2, and that's because I developed a dry socket. And if you don't know what that is, for me it was the most painful thing that I've ever experienced, but it's where the blood clot that forms when you have especially a wisdom tooth like that removed, it ends up coming out prematurely before it can start like healing and filling in the hole. So basically the bone back there and the nerve and all that stuff is just exposed to air and liquid and, you know, whatever you're putting in your mouth. And it's very, very painful. So I had to go to the dentist after a few days and get it packed with some clove oil stuff. Anyway, it could develop into a dry socket again, so I am taking a risk by being out here this soon before it actually heals up completely. But I do have some clove oil with me and cotton balls, which are considered a home remedy for dry sockets, and I'll be flushing it and rinsing my mouth with salt water and following all the rules like I did the first time, but I still developed one. But anyway, yeah, then also on the trip home, I ended up finding termites in my house. I had flight delays on the way home and on the way back, so it was not the relaxing trip home that I had expected. But I did get to see everyone. I did get to rest my feet some. And just after all of that ruckus, I'm like, now that I'm back out on trail, maybe finally things will start looking up a little bit, and life will take it a little bit easier.
I just want to be outside.
Just got dropped off. There's a ride back there, and we're back at it. New hats, new attitudes, new everything. Looks like Colorado.
Hey, Aaron. Are you sore?
Yeah. How about you?
My feet are a little bit, but not the rest of me. Do you see frost on your tent?
Just water.
Yeah, there was frost when I first woke up. There's frost on my shoes.
Alrighty, so things have changed. There are a lot of skeeters now. And yeah, I wasn't really expecting that, but
Why there's so many?
in case you get lost in this section of trail, there's a cairn to point the way.
I mean, there's another one in case you get lost.
Yeah, between
There and there.
that one, yeah.
Won't be another sign for another 3 miles though.
No, but at least in this one section we didn't get lost. Yeah. It's probably coyote. I don't know. How long are you gonna bark for? Well, going from Alabama, which I think where I live, I know it's below 1,000 feet, but probably 700 to 900, and coming up to 10,000 feet elevation and above after 2 weeks of being at the lower elevation has definitely taken its toll on me. I feel like I cannot breathe. And we didn't start till late in the afternoon yesterday and only put in about 8.5 miles, which we were fine with. Just hiked till dark. But there have been more climbs today and even higher in elevation. And today's gonna be about a 15-mile day, and that's with giving it all I got. So on top of that, I have diarrhea. Not sure if that's just my body trying to get acclimated to everything or what. And currently in the longest stretch of water carry we've had since I've been back on, which is about 11.5 miles. So it's just a wonderful combination. But I think that my body will adjust a lot faster to, you know, hiking and doing bigger miles. But struggle is real. The good news is getting back on in such a beautiful area, you know, not in the desert, for example, like I did on the PCT. It is definitely a morale booster. You know, everything around me is beautiful, so even though it hurts, it's still nice to look at. I was wondering when I got back on if there would be many people out here. Kind of felt like Aaron and I would be the caboose. But we've actually seen like 6 or 7 other people in the stretch and one guy that we met back in Pie Town. But one thing that I've noticed about the people who are out here right now and me and Aaron is that they're hiking a whole lot faster on these uphills especially. So I can tell that taking 2 weeks off has definitely put a hurting on us. But that's all right. We'll come back from it in no time. Well, I've been being a good girl and flushing the hole in my gums out every day.
Let me get the macro lens on. I didn't get this bit.
Oh, good. And I think that it's actually improving. I have noticed that on uphills it tends to throb some, but overall in the evenings when it seems to be the most sore after I've been eating and talking all day and everything, it is getting less painful each evening. So I'm going to take that as it's healing up and that hopefully it's not going to get any worse. I met a lady today who has hiked the PCT before, and her name, of all things, is Catwater, and it ended up coming out why she was named that. And she said back in 2015 that she drank some water that had a dead cat in it. But we realized we have both drank from the same tank on the PCT that had a dead animal in it. Had one in it in 2015 and again in 2017. So either it had 2 different dead animals in it or it's a really long-lasting corpse. But either way, we drank out of the same tank on the PCT that had dead animal water in it. What a thing to have in common. Today is pretty much day 2.5 back on trail. feeling a lot better. And you know, I never backpack without Imodium, and yesterday's diarrhea is why I took those Imodium, and not having any issues with that today. Now that could also be due to the fact that, you know, I'm getting a little bit more acclimated each day. Could be because Aaron shared some of his acclimate drink with me, or who knows, it could have been, you know, just a little, I won't even say stomach bug, but just something that I ate that upset my stomach. So no real way of knowing, but I will say that my lungs are a little sore today, or at least like in my sternum area. If I take in a real deep breath, like I can feel that I've overworked that area, those muscles at least. So just trying to more or less listen to my body, take it slow, and, you know, get readjusted. So doing about 15 miles again today. Then tomorrow will be a Nero into Chama, and then after that we'll be in the San Juans. It's a circle. Circle of life.
You can, yeah.
We made it, our 15-mile goal, or just right at 15, close to anyhow. And we are about 4 miles from Chama. So we'll be getting in there hopefully at a decent time tomorrow. But the good feeling, like the non-nausea feeling that I had today left, and now I feel kind of bleh again. But we were up above 11,000 today, so I'm going to blame it on that. Or some bad food or something. But either way, hopefully after we get out of Chama, my body will realize that we are through hiking the CDT again, and or whatever bad food will have passed, hopefully. So, last coffee in New Mexico. I got first word from this year's hikers on the San Juans, and they are folks who hiked the PCT northbound last year, so they went through the Sierra Nevada and a high snow year, and they said that the stuff that they've seen is just as bad as some areas of the PCT, as far as a clinching moment where, you know, you're walking on basically a ledge of snow that just drops down to nothingness. They said it's just as gnarly, was their word. And they did say that the rivers aren't as bad, but I don't know exactly what they mean by gnarly, and I don't know what time of year they went through the Sierra Nevada, so I don't know if they saw it later than I did when there was less snow. I hope that's the case, because I really don't want to experience Sierra Nevada round 2 this year in the San Juans. Getting a little anxious about that though, but I'm sure it's going to be beautiful regardless. I just am not looking forward to it being quite as gnarly, but I guess time will tell.
We've got about half a mile to go before we knock off one of 5 states. And Idaho, I reckon, doesn't really count that much, but either way, it's still a milestone. And it'll feel really good to see New Mexico in the rear view mirror. Well, I think this is the exciting border that we've been waiting for oh, you know, a little while. Miles and miles. Wow, yay! Please use path just west of gate. Thank you. We can't even walk across the border where the trail crosses. Oh my goodness. All right, well, congratulations.
But it doesn't even say
Oh, and gut hooks.
Colorado.
All right, this is the way to Colorado. We're not there yet, I guess. Is this what they mean? Yeah, I guess so.
Here we go.
Wow, this is the first view in Colorado. Ow! It feels so good to be in Colorado for several reasons, obviously, because, you know, one state down. But Colorado is the state that I was living in when I decided to just get out of the rat race, to cash in on my retirement and start through hiking, you know, and I decided I was gonna start with the AT. And so it's kind of cool that on the last leg of this Triple Crown journey that I'm coming through Colorado again, since that's kind of where it all began. So this state is special to me for several reasons, but now it's just another reason why it's going to be special. So hopefully it'll treat us well. This last stretch has definitely been tough getting back on trail, and you know, I haven't felt 100%, but I'm still so happy to be back and just to have crossed another milestone, and ready to see what Colorado holds.
Look at the meat.
I don't want to see it.
Look at that meat. Out of it. This is gross. I'm gonna feed that to Hank and Fancy, the meat.